Welcome back to Tom's Garage again, boys and girls. Good morning. It still is morning. We got about 15 minutes of morning left. Today, Papa Troy-Bilt Bronco 42. Yeah, you can see right there. Yeah, I just serviced this thing for him about a month ago. He called me back. Said, Tom, my blades quit turning. What am I gonna do? I said, well, I guess I'll fix it. Because I know how. Look at here. Broken belt. Look at that right there, boy. Yeah. Broke that belt. I think I just put that belt on there for him. Ooh, we gotta clean this deck. He's got a big old yard he cuts with it. Big old yard. Let me show you why it broke. You're gonna get a kick out of this. Grab us a flashlight. Let's see. Let's go around here. I think what's happening, let's look down in this chute right here and see if this thing's clogged up. Yeah, it's clogged up all right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's part of the problem. That chute right there, this bagging system is putting a whole lot of strain on this thing because he's got such a big yard. It's almost like he's using it for a bush hog, really. Wow. So what we're going to have to do is replace that belt. I'm not going to pull this deck off. I'm going to try to clean it as good as I can by hand. And I'll show you how to do it without pulling the deck off. But let me show you why it broke. Let me lower the camera down a little bit. Let's go under. Let's go under. Look at there. Right there. See that blade way over there? That grass. That grass has got between the blade and the deck and locked these blades up. It sure did. So we'll go over to the other side and look back towards this one. And I'll show you what happened. If you can see it real good. Right there. See how that chute got full? And it just bound that blade up. Uh-oh. Money in the morning. All right, so the first thing we're going to do, lower that deck all the way down and clean it. Try to clean the top of it off. Drag a trash can over there. Okay. Ain't but one way to do this. That's just to grab you a handful. Whew. This is the cleaner side. Let's see, let's reach in there. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this belt right here. Another blades are locked up. That's right, we can't just pull the belt off. Whew. Let's see, I'm gonna go over here and engage the deck. That way it'll pull in spindle brakes off the pulley. We might be able to pull that belt out of there, or we'll just wait till we get the covers taken off. You got to take these covers off each side. There it goes. Ah, we got the blades free. You see all that? All right. All right. Yeah, that is not an old belt at all. The part number for this belt is a 954- 04060C, and it's a 1/2 inch by 96.5 rotary. 1/2 inch by 96.5. This is actually a 754, which is fine, but it's a B, which it'll work for a C because it's just a deck belt. All right. It's the same belt I put on there last time. Okay, let's continue cleaning this thing. That's why it freed the, no, let's see, that's going in the right direction. Let's see, I pulled it. Yeah, it was going in, I was spinning it in the right direction. Okay, let's just get in here and get us a handful. After we're done, we're gonna take it outside and I'll hit it with the blower and a water hose and finish cleaning whatever's left out of the deck. Everything's free. Blades are free. The pulleys feel good. Let's see, the engine spins that way. Okay, that's basically pretty good on this side. Let's pull the trash can around here. We'll start grabbing it from this side. The feller's disabled. He can't get down there and do this himself. He said, that's what you're for, Tom. I said, yes, sir, I'll clean it whenever I get it. I'll try to keep it clean for you. Yeah, we gotta get that chute cleaned out. It's pretty good now. That's pretty clear. All right. I'm gonna have to pull this chute off, I'm afraid. To remove this chute, boy, this is gonna make a mess. We gotta get this little wing nut right here off, which is probably gonna be easier said than done because it's probably never been taken off. That nut is probably spinning on the inside of this plastic thing. I don't know, that may be that screw. I don't know. I don't think it is. No. What we're gonna have to do, is just, just hope he don't have a whole bunch of poison ivy and poison oak in his yard. Or thorn bushes. Get hit with a thorn. Or have a big old cotton-headed rattle moccasin curled up down there. Let me get the flashlight. Yeah, I don't believe I'm gonna stick my hand back in there. I'm not that brave. Not that brave. Let's grab something and just poke at it from the top and push it on out under the deck. Nobody get one bad. That'll be about the best way to do it. Let's see, I'm going to raise this deck up so it has room to all fall at the bottom. I'll just take my big old long pry bar here and just kind of jab it, push it back under there. He gets out there early in the morning before it gets hot and cuts. I don't blame him. So that way it still has a lot of dew and stuff. The grass is still kind of wet. Yeah, that's pretty clear there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He's always nice enough to take the bagger system off whenever I need to go pick it up and do anything to it. But of course he can't get this off and I'm not going to fight with it either. Okay, now we have to clean out all that stuff that come out of the bottom. Let's see, let's grab something here. Grab this little Amazon box. Yeah, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll use. Ooh, what a mess I'm making. Yeah, all this came out of that chute. That's why it was. That's why it locked them blades up. He's pushing her just a little too hard. It's all right though. That's why I'm here. I don't mind. Okay, that's clear. Clear. these covers off. See, when you disengage the deck, all it does is throws a bunch of slack on the belt. And these covers keep that belt from falling off the pulley when you get it all that slack. The clearances in here is pretty tight. So you can't even really get your finger in there. It just holds that belt so it don't fall off. And all the slack will end up coming up here, and this will just spin while the engine's running, and it won't grab that belt. All right. Let's grab some tools. Let's grab some tools. Grab my little universal joint, a little 3/8 socket. Grab some extension. Oop, let me hit pause 1 second. I got a parts delivery. Okay. Got me a little 1/4" drive universal socket. Swivel. Little 3/8 on the end of it. We'll see if we can get in here without having to use an end wrench to get this off. Ooh, that thing's tight. I can see the pins coming out of my universal swivel. That ain't good. Yeah, that thing's tight. Let me grab the ratchet. Break it loose with a ratchet. Oh, there we go. I probably used that impact on it last time I changed this belt. That's the reason they're so tight. You don't need to do that. All right. Then we'll just spin them off. One, two, three. And there's your cover. These things have a bad tendency because they're so thin and all the vibration. Sometimes these things will break. These little tabs that break off around that bolt hole. And then this will become loose and back its way off away from the pulley a little bit, and it'll cause the belt to fall off. And hit pause. Got a customer. All right. Let's move around to the other side and get that one off. Move around to the other side. Okay. You can see right here where I had to put these big fender washers, these 1/4" hole in the middle of it with a big old fender washer, because this side broke a while back. So that works pretty good if yours is broken. Break it loose. These screws have a tendency to get real rusty too. They'll bind against the thread. Be careful when you're using a swivel, especially on the impact. This thing can come loose and bust you out in the mouth, I'm telling you. You're hitting high with it. Ask me how I know. See where it broke? And this one, I think I put one over here because this one's starting to crack. Well, no, I don't see no cracks over here. I don't know why I put one over there. I guess I done that so it wouldn't start cracking. Okay. Yep. Save that. We'll put that back on there with it. Okay, let's lower the camera. Let's get our eyeballs in there and we'll put that new belt on. And then we'll go over belt routing. First thing we need to do though is get this little belt keeper that goes around the engine pulley. That keeps the belt from falling off the engine pulley because you're putting all that slack on there. Let's see if we can get it off. See, last time, yeah, I remember now, I took a little ink pen, a little paint pen, put a mark right there so I know which holes it goes in. Because these other holes are for different applications. I use the same frames for like ponies or Broncos and stuff like that, so, okay. Different engine manufacturers. I've seen these with V-twin Kohlers. I've seen with single cylinder power motor engines. I've seen, you know, Briggs Intech single cylinders. That's the most popular engine. This one's got, yeah, this one's got the 19 horse Briggs and Stratton single cylinder overhead valve Intech. This belt untangled. What I like to do is stick it all the way through across the other side, hook that pulley over there, and you know, on these decks, it goes from that blade pulley way over there on the back side straight to this blade pulley. Okay? Then all you do is curl it around this stationary idler pulley, and you're probably going to have to, you need to loosen this pulley. You got to loosen that pulley. That's a 9/16, and you got to reach under there with a 9/16 wrench and hold the head of that bolt, because you've got to loosen this pulley enough to get it between here and that belt keeper right there, because this thing is solid. Don't bend it. You do not want to bend that thing, because you'll never get it bent back, and your belt will start coming off with you. All right, let's grab the wrench. A lot of the Craftsman, you don't have to, those are flexible. They're spring-loaded flexible, you can just push them. But those are solid, those are thicker. All right. So what you have to do is, see, this one here is just bolted right through the deck. That one over there is bolted through that mechanism, spring-loaded mechanism that tightens and loosens the belt. On the John Deere, you don't have the bolt heads at the bottom. It's just a stud welded in there. Now you got to figure out how to get a wrench in there. You got to go from this angle here and grab that bolt head. This can be kind of a pain. You got to find your way in with all that nut. Well, you know, I think you got to get it from the bottom. I don't know, I don't think so. Grab me a screwdriver and poke some of that nastiness out of the way. Got grass and stuff packed in there. Just push it through. See if we can get in there and get it now. Grab my flashlight here and see what I can do. It's bolted on top of a little bracket. It's hard to get in there to get. Should have done this before I put the belt on there. You gotta find that bolt head. Thought I had it. There it goes. I got it. Just loosen it and watch it. You'll bust your knuckles. Golly, boy, I must have done that with the impact wrench last time. I don't have a hold of the head. That's why sometimes I'll just slide this deck out. Get this belt out of the way. Right there in my way, Mr. Belt. There we go. I got a hold of the head. Well, I'll tell you, I must have used the impact on this last time. I got it loose though. You don't have to take it all the way off. You just loosen it a little bit. That's probably plenty right there. Go around it. See, now it'll wobble around with you. You can get it inside that tab sticking up, that belt keeper. Now we'll tighten this back down. Whew. And that's a lock nut too, so it's not going to vibrate loose. You don't have to get it real tight. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, it's going straight back to that blade. Spindle pulley over there. Comes around behind this one. It's going to go to the engine pulley. Go around the engine pulley. Okay. And that's going to go to the inside of that other spring-loaded idler pulley. Let's go around to the other side. Tell you what, let's go ahead and get this cover here back on and be done with this. Yeah, I think I just put this big washer on here for insurance so it wouldn't crack and split on that side. Take this broken tab, put that back on there so it'll act as kind of a spacer. Just like that. Start them by finger so you don't get them cross-threaded. Make sure the belt is still on the pulley. It didn't fall off with you. I'm not going to sharpen his blades because they're still pretty sharp. They're brand new. I just put them on there last month. Okay. Now we'll move around to the other side. Grab some tools because we got to loosen the other pulley too. Okay, make doubly sure it's on the inside between the pulley and that tab right there sticking up. Get your eyeball on it. Right there. Goes around the engine pulley. We'll go to the other side. All right. This one could be a little more difficult because that whole mechanism this thing is bolted to is going to want to move with you. Having to work around this big chute right here too ain't helping. So what I'll try to do is hold that mechanism with this wrench. Let me swap for a shallow socket. This thing is making the wrench stand up way too high. It caused me to bust a knuckle. Hear that? See, I'm holding back on it with the wrench. This thing's going to be tight. I just go, there we go. All right. Now it comes from the engine. Let's go ahead and put this back on. That goes in there. That right there holds that. On the other side of this, let me grab 1/2-inch socket here. Grab my extension, a 1/2-inch socket, because that bar, that keeper right there, comes from over there and it goes straight up. And you've got a bolt that holds the end of it right here, and when you move it, you'll cause that to loosen. So you got to make sure you get that tightened back. Right there, just a 1/2-inch socket. See, it was a little loose. You don't want that to vibrate and get gone. I have in the past put a nut on top of that and just drilled it through. But more times than not, this bolt in that engine is going to be right in the way, and it's hard to do. Very hard to do, but we do it. Okay. Belt comes from the engine. On the inside of that keeper right there. And it comes around. Goes around that pulley. What I'm going to do now is engage the deck. See there? Everything's good. Okay. Now let's get that tightened back. I keep reaching for that 3/8 right there for some reason. Alright, I got a hold of that. Give it a pretty good little hunker. And that's also a lock nut. It shouldn't vibrate loose. Okay, we're inside that one. Right there. Okay, let's engage. Everything's nice and tight. Everything is routed properly. That inner pulley over there is inside. This one is inside. Double check. I can feel that it is. And we're good. All we gotta do is put this cover right here back on and we are done. We will be done with this one. I'll take it out there with my blower and blow this thing out real good and wash it out with a water hose too. And we'll take it back to him. Because he sure does love his tractor. He says, man, tell me if that thing's getting wore out, I'll go buy another one. I said, well, have you thought about getting a zero turn? He said, no, man, I'm a creature of habit. I'll just buy another pony. I love my pony. I said, well, all right then. They still make them. A Troy-Bilt pony, or well, actually Bronco. I kept calling it a pony. This is a Bronco. A pony's about the same thing. Same deck and everything. The only difference is really in the drive system. I don't particularly like these that have this design like that. It's just too complicated. I like the ponies and stuff that don't have, it's just a very simple design. Unlike this one. Okay, here's this cover. That's why I engage it before I put the cover on there. That way you know the belt is where it's supposed to be, and you won't be putting this on and having the blade pinched up in there. Is it pinched or pinched? Don't pinch it. Okay. Okay, we'll let the table down. We'll get this thing out there in the driveway and engage it, because I ain't going to engage it in here in my shop, because it's going to blow grass everywhere. Okay, one last little look. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Let's disengage. One more look. See all the slack it throws on there? Yeah, on that engine pulley. I'm gonna raise the deck up. Lower the table, back it out. See how it works. We'll mark this one done. I'm gonna point the camera right out there. I think he's getting a hole in his muffler. I think it sounds funny. Okay. We'll lower the deck. Double check. Grab a flashlight. Make sure nothing's ruffled, burnt, come loose. Looks pretty good. Everything looks pretty good. I didn't smell no smoke. Blade brakes are working good. You can see I ducked my head too and I engaged it. That chute right there, it shot out a bunch of stuff. Whew. I pointed the flashlight out there like I'm gonna light it up. Okay. Well, all right, boys and girls. Let's watch another Tom Doobie video. We'll end this video so I can take my shirt back off. It is hot. That is a deck belt on a Troy-Bilt Bronco 42 automatic. Part number 954-04060C. 96.5 by 1/2 inch belt. If this was the transmission belt, I sure would not have used a rotary belt. I'd use the OEM belt. The best place to get those is like Lowe's and Home Depot. Or you can order them, not on Amazon, because you won't get the OEM on Amazon, but if it was a transmission belt, you darn sure better get the OEM. It'll say Troy-Bilt, MTD and stuff on the package. And on the belt. All right, y'all, you know, eat your vitamins, take your vegetables and all that kind of good stuff. And stay cool out there, man. It's hot. Holler if you need me. Love one another. Smile on your brother. It'll be all right. God, my goodness, we're going to catch y'all on the next one, I'm telling you. Love y'all.